Welcome to the Shigeaki podcast where science meets longevity. I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, a physician who's spent over 3 decades helping people use food lifestyle and functional medicine to live stronger, longer, and more pain-free lives. And one issue I see more and more, especially after age 60, is joint pain that just won't go away. Not just arthritis, I'm talking about the everyday stiffness when you get out of bed, the knee that swells when you walk too far, the hands that ache when you're chopping vegetables or carrying groceries. A few weeks ago, one of my patients, Linda, 68, came to me frustrated. She was Activate well, even took glucosamine daily, but her knees were stiff, her fingers felt swollen, and by afternoon she was exhausted from simply trying to move through the pain. She didn't want stronger meds. She wanted something natural, something that worked. So, we made one simple change. We added specific anti-inflammatory spices to her meals every day. Not in capsule form, not as a supplement, just real food, real flavor used the right way. And the result. Within 1 week, her knees felt lighter. She said the swelling went down. And for the first time in months, she could squat to reach her garden tools without grabbing the chair for support. That's the power of food. And more specifically, the power of functional spices. And I'm honored to explore this with someone who spent his life studying graceful aging, my friend and co-host, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you, Mark. Pain and stiffness aren't just signs of getting older. They're signs of chronic inflammation, the slow fire that damages joints, muscles, even brain cells. And while medications may reduce the pain, they don't always solve the root problem. Fortunately, certain spices contain natural compounds that science now confirms can reduce inflammation, block pain pathways, and support tissue healing, all without side effects. These are not rare or exotic. They're simple ingredients you may already have: turmeric, ginger cloves, cinnamon, and rosemary.
Today we'll show you how to use each one, what science says about them, and how to get the most benefit safely and naturally. Like, subscribe, and share this episode if you or someone you love is living with joint pain. Relief might be closer and tastier than you think. Let's get started with the golden spice, turmeric.
All right, let's start with the one most people have heard about, but few are using correctly. Turmeric. This bright yellow spice comes from the root of the curcuma longa plant. It's been used for centuries in traditional medicine, especially in India. But today, modern science is finally catching up. The magic behind turmeric lies in one powerful compound, curcumin.
Exactly, and curcumin isn't just a coloring agent. It's a natural anti-inflammatory with a very specific superpower. It blocks the activity of 2 major inflammation drivers in the body, an enzyme called COX-2 and a signaling molecule called NF-κB. Why does that matter? Because both of those are heavily involved in chronic joint pain, swelling, and stiffness, especially in people with osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis.
There was a study published in Phytotherapy Research that blew me away. Researchers gave participants with knee osteoarthritis 500 mg of curcumin twice a day, and guess what? After 8 weeks, their pain relief was comparable to people taking ibuprofen but without the gastrointestinal side effects. That's the key: natural, effective, and gentle on the stomach. This is especially important after 60, when NSAIDs like ibuprofen can irritate the gut lining and increase the risk of ulcers or bleeding.
Now, here's the catch. Curcumin is amazing, but it's poorly absorbed on its own. So, if you're adding turmeric to food, you need to combine it with a pinch of black pepper, which contains piperine. That one little tweak can increase absorption by up to 2,000%. And fat. Don't forget fat. Curcumin is fat-soluble, so pairing turmeric with a healthy fat like olive oil, coconut milk, or ghee helps it move through your digestive system and into your bloodstream. Let's talk real-world use. So, what is the easiest way to get turmeric into your day, Dr. Shigeaki?
Oh, you can try adding a half to 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder to soups, stews, or your morning oatmeal. Or make something called golden milk, a warm drink made with almond milk, or oat milk, turmeric, black pepper, and a touch of honey. It's soothing, gentle, and a fantastic option before bed. You can even mix turmeric into your egg scramble lentil dishes or roasted veggies. Just be sure to cook it gently. Overheating can degrade some of its compounds.
One important note is that if you're currently taking blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin, check with your doctor before consuming high amounts of turmeric regularly. It can enhance the effects of those drugs, which could increase your risk of bleeding. But for most people, a little turmeric every day can be one of the simplest and safest ways to calm joint inflammation naturally. All right, that's turmeric, golden, powerful, and definitely worth a spot on your spice rack. So, what is next?
Next on the list is something you probably already have in your kitchen and maybe even in your tea: ginger. This is one of the oldest healing roots in the world. And when it comes to joint pain and inflammation, ginger has some serious science behind it.
That's right, Shigeaki. The active compounds in ginger, especially gingerol and shogaol, are known for their anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. They work by inhibiting prostaglandins, which are the chemical messengers in your body that trigger inflammation and pain, especially around your joints. Basically, prostaglandins are the reason your knee feels hot, puffy, or stiff in the morning. Ginger turns down the volume on that chemical response gently and naturally. In fact, a clinical study published in Arthritis and Rheumatism showed that people who took just 2 grams of ginger per day, about a teaspoon of fresh grated root, experienced a noticeable reduction in knee pain and stiffness after just 6 weeks.
And what's great is that ginger doesn't just reduce pain, it also helps improve mobility. Many older adults with arthritis say they feel less locked up after using ginger consistently. It may not be dramatic overnight, but over time it works like a gentle anti-inflammatory from the inside out.
Let's talk about how to actually use it. My go-to ginger tea. Slice a few thin pieces of fresh ginger, pour in hot water, and steep for 10 to 15 minutes. Add a bit of lemon or raw honey if you like. It's warming, calming, and great for your joints, especially in the morning. Or if you're cooking, you can grate ginger directly into soups, stir-fries, curries, or even congee and broths. It adds flavor, improves digestion, and fights inflammation all in one move.
Now a quick word of caution. Ginger is powerful. If you take too much on an empty stomach, especially in raw form, it can irritate your digestive system, causing heartburn or nausea, particularly in people with sensitive stomachs. So the key is moderation. Stick with 1 to 2 grams per day, which is roughly a half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of fresh grated ginger or 1 ginger tea bag. Spread it throughout the day if needed. And remember, food doesn't have to taste bland to be healthy. Ginger makes your meals more exciting and your joints more forgiving. So if you're waking up stiff or ending the day sore, add a little ginger to your routine and see how your body responds.
Let's move on to a spice that doesn't get nearly enough credit for its healing power: cloves. Most people think of cloves as something you might find in holiday recipes or spice blends, but they're so much more than that. Yes, cloves are small, but they pack a punch. The key compound inside is called eugenol, and this compound has been studied for its strong anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties, meaning it helps reduce pain and swelling in a very similar way to over-the-counter pain relievers.
In fact, eugenol works by blocking the COX enzyme, the same one targeted by NSAIDs like ibuprofen and aspirin. That's why cloves have often been used in traditional medicine, not just for digestive comfort or dental pain, but also for muscle soreness and joint discomfort. And it doesn't stop there. Eugenol also helps improve blood circulation, which is especially helpful for people who feel stiff or achy in the hands, knees, or hips, because better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients delivered to the joints.
Now, here's the good news: you don't need much. Just a small amount of ground cloves, about 1/4 to a half teaspoon per day, is enough to start seeing benefits, especially if used regularly.
Let's talk about how to use it. One of my favorite ways is to make clove tea. Just steep 2 to 3 whole cloves in a cup of hot water for 10 minutes. You can drink it as is or add a slice of fresh ginger or a cinnamon stick for added benefit. Or if you're more of a food lover, you can sprinkle a pinch of ground cloves into your morning oatmeal smoothie or warm almond milk. It adds a warming, slightly sweet note, and more importantly, it brings that anti-inflammatory boost to your day.
But here's a word of caution. Cloves are strong, especially in concentrated forms. If you're using ground cloves, don't go over half a teaspoon per day. More is not better here. And absolutely avoid drinking clove essential oil. It's very potent and not meant to be consumed directly. Topical use in diluted form is okay for some people, but always with care.
Exactly. With spices like cloves, we want to use them like medicine, small, regular, intentional doses. That's where the magic is. So if you're looking for a way to ease joint pain, naturally boost circulation, and maybe even warm up your mornings a bit, cloves are a wonderful ally. 1 pinch a day. That's all it takes to start moving better, feeling lighter, and giving your joints the support they've been asking for.
Now let's talk about a spice that almost everyone has, but most people don't realize how powerful it can be. Named cinnamon. It's sweet, warming, comforting. But beyond the flavor, cinnamon is also a natural anti-inflammatory and a potent blood sugar regulator.
The main compound that gives cinnamon its health benefits is cinnamaldehyde. It's what gives cinnamon its aroma, but also its ability to reduce inflammation and balance blood sugar. When we look at chronic joint pain, especially in older adults, it's often not just inflammation alone. Many people also deal with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, which makes the inflammation worse.
Exactly, and that's where cinnamon really shines. Research shows that cinnamaldehyde helps decrease pro-inflammatory cytokines, those little chemical messengers that trigger swelling, stiffness, and joint discomfort. At the same time, it helps the body use insulin more effectively, which means fewer blood sugar spikes, less inflammation, and better overall joint health. So, if you're someone who has joint pain and also struggles with blood sugar control, cinnamon is a 2-in-1 solution.
Let's talk about how to use it. One of the easiest ways, just sprinkle a little ground cinnamon on your morning oats. Greek yogurt or blended smoothie, it adds flavor without any sugar, and it blends beautifully with foods that are already good for your joints. Another option I love is cinnamon tea. Take a small stick of cinnamon, steep it in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. For a little extra, add a slice of apple or lemon. It's soothing, slightly sweet and gentle on the stomach, perfect for mornings or a mid-afternoon reset.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is the type of cinnamon. Most of the cinnamon sold in grocery stores is called cassia cinnamon. It's affordable and widely used, but it also contains a compound called coumarin, which in high amounts can affect the liver. So, the recommendation is don't exceed 1 teaspoon, about 2 grams of ground cinnamon per day, especially if you're using cassia. If you want to use cinnamon more regularly, consider switching to Ceylon. Cinnamon, also called true cinnamon. It has lower levels of coumarin and a more delicate flavor, perfect for daily use.
Again, it's not about mega dosing. It's about gentle, consistent use, just a little each day, which can help reduce inflammation, support your metabolism, and take pressure off your joints. And the bonus, it tastes amazing, so why not use it? So whether you're dealing with joint pain, blood sugar swings, or both, cinnamon is a delicious and powerful tool to have in your anti-inflammatory toolbox.
Now, let's wrap up this list with a fragrant herb that's often used in cooking, but is also a quiet superstar when it comes to natural pain relief. Rosemary. It smells amazing when you roast chicken or potatoes with it. But what most people don't realize is that rosemary is loaded with medicinal compounds that specifically target inflammation and pain.
That's right. The 2 most important compounds in rosemary are rosmarinic acid and carnosol. Rosmarinic acid has been studied for its ability to inhibit inflammatory enzymes like COX2 and reduce the production of cytokines, the same inflammatory signals involved in rheumatoid arthritis and muscle pain. And carnosol, this is another plant chemical in rosemary, has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory actions that help protect joint tissue and reduce stiffness, especially after movement. So rosemary doesn't just help reduce inflammation, it can also improve blood flow to the joints. And that's crucial because circulation helps bring oxygen and nutrients to areas that are sore or swollen. I often recommend rosemary for people with rheumatoid arthritis, muscle fatigue, or post-workout soreness. It's gentle yet highly effective when used regularly.
Let's go into how to actually use it. First, the simplest way is cook with it. Sprinkle dried rosemary leaves on roasted chicken, fish, or vegetables. Or add it to soups and stews during cooking to release its oils and flavor. And for those who enjoy tea, rosemary tea is incredibly soothing. Just steep a teaspoon of dried rosemary leaves in hot water for about 10 minutes. It's herbal warming and a great post-meal drink, especially for those with joint tension or bloating. Now, here's something many people don't know. Rosemary doesn't just work from the inside out. It also works topically, using rosemary-infused oil or diluted rosemary essential oil for gentle massage can help with localized joint pain or muscle tightness.
But we need to give an important reminder here. Do not consume pure rosemary essential oil. It's extremely concentrated and not meant for internal use. Stick to the culinary herb or diluted oil for external application. Also, if you have high blood pressure or epilepsy, talk with your doctor before using rosemary oil regularly, especially in concentrated form.
However, for most people though, rosemary is incredibly safe, and it adds both flavor and function to your meals and self-care routine. So, if you're dealing with joint stiffness, muscle soreness, or just want to support circulation and tissue repair, rosemary is an excellent spice to bring into your daily life. And there you have it, 5 powerful spices that aren't just in your kitchen, they belong in your joint care toolkit.
All right, let's take a moment to recap what we've covered today. We've talked about 5 powerful spices: our turmeric, ginger, cloves, cinnamon, and rosemary. They're not exotic, they're not expensive, and they don't require you to change your entire diet. They're simply natural anti-inflammatory tools sitting quietly in your kitchen waiting to be used the right way.
That's what makes them special. These aren't pills, they're not quick fixes, but when used daily, even in small amounts, they can create a cumulative effect in the body. Less inflammation, better circulation, easier movement, more comfort in your joints. And here's the best part, you don't have to use all 5 every day. Even starting with just one used consistently and correctly can make a real difference.
I often tell my patients you don't have to take a pill to reduce inflammation. Sometimes all it takes is seasoning your meals the right way. So how might that look in a real day? Here's a simple flow. In the morning, have a warm cup of ginger tea to wake up your joints and improve blood flow. At lunch, stir a half teaspoon of turmeric into your soup, stew, or even oatmeal with a pinch of black pepper to boost absorption. In the afternoon, sprinkle cinnamon into your yogurt smoothie or hot drink, great for joint support and blood sugar stability. And for dinner, roast some vegetables or fish with rosemary for a delicious and functional meal. That's not complicated, that's just eating with purpose.
Exactly. And here's one more thing. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Pick just one spice from today's list. Use it daily for the next 7 days. See how your body feels. It's about building awareness, listening to your joints, your digestion, your energy.
And of course, spices work even better when paired with a gentle lifestyle. A little movement each day, walking, stretching, or water exercise. Getting 7 to 8 hours of good sleep. Staying hydrated. When all of these align food, rest, movement, that's when inflammation truly begins to shift.
So, whether you're managing arthritis, muscle soreness, or just general stiffness, don't underestimate what's already in your spice rack. Because sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't a pill. It's what you put on your plate and how often you use it.
You know, I always tell my patients spices aren't just about flavor. They're powerful tools. Tiny, yes. But when used correctly, they can help calm inflammation, reduce joint pain, and bring more comfort to your everyday life. We often chase complex treatments, but sometimes the answer is sitting right there in your kitchen cabinet. 1 teaspoon of turmeric, a slice of fresh ginger, a sprinkle of cinnamon. These are not magical pills, but they are smart choices. And when you repeat those smart choices daily, they compound. Over time, they become part of your healing.
Exactly. These 5 spices we talked about, turmeric, ginger, garlic, rosemary, and cinnamon, they've all been studied not just for flavor, but for their anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. And while they won't replace medication in severe cases, they absolutely can help you manage stiffness, joint discomfort, and even boost mobility when paired with a healthy lifestyle. And the best part? They're accessible. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a big budget. Just awareness and consistency.
So here's our invitation. Don't wait for pain to get worse. Start small. Add a little spice to your meals, not just for taste, but for your joints, your energy, and your future self. Because in the end, as I always say, there's no miracle. But there are smart daily decisions. If you or someone you love is dealing with joint pain or stiffness, share this episode with them. Hit like, subscribe, and comment below. Like, which spice are you already using and which one will you try next?